Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I will share with you a very stylish summer bag recipe that I prepared from Raffia. If I want to see the details of our bag, right now we will use a very shiny, beautiful handle. I want to show you our bag model up close. Look, we worked with Raffia right now. Let's see the inside of our bag. We will use a ready oval base. This will make our job really easy. As I said, it turned out to be such a light, summery, very stylish bag. If you want, you can sew a lining on the inside. You can use zipper or snap or different locks on the mouth. I really like to use these types of bags in this way. You can also use it by placing a bag, etc. inside. If you don't want to sew a lining, look right now, if I show the base, it looks like this. It is very, very easy. As I said, we will prepare our bag with a very simple knitting technique in this pattern. Look, it turned out really nice in this color. It looks so nice when it is worn. We will have worked such a light, summery, stylish bag. Look, if I show it in detail, I shared all the details with you step by step in the video. You can find the details of how much yarn I used and the size of our bag in the video. I hope it will be useful content. Before moving on to our recipe, I want to make a small request from you. You can subscribe to our channel for free. I would be really happy if you like the video and leave your comments. Let's move on to our recipe. I will use the shelf yarn I bought from Oxa Knitting Boutique to knit my bag. Its knitting is very soft, as if you were knitting cotton yarn. It does not hurt your hands at all. At the end of the video, I will share with you how much yarn I used. Look, the raffiabag accessory has a very nice ready-made base here. Its shiny leather is really nice. You can also find these products from Oxa Knitting Boutique. Again, I will add the link to the Instagram accounts of raffiabag and Oxa Knitting Boutique in the description section below. You can reach it by clicking there. I will tell you the size of the base in centimeters right away. Look, it is 19 centimeters. It is 20 centimeters long. Let's measure your hand immediately. I will use an oval base measuring 10 centimeters and 10 centimeters. Now the crochet hook number I will use here will be 3 millimeters. You can determine your own crochet hook number according to the thinness of your yarn, whether your knitting is tight or loose. Look like this. I start from what I said there. I am directly inserting. I am taking the end of the crochet hook and making a loop from this point. Then I fill my yarn and I wrap it. I pass the yarn through the loop that has formed. I make the beginning. I shorten it a little. I leave it. We will travel inside. I come to the same space. I am knitting one more single crochet. Look, we started with a chain. We knitted single crochet. Now there will be 2 single crochets in each hole. I am inserting into the next hole. I made a loop. There are 2 stitches. I am filling single crochet, coming to the same space again. I am knitting a second single crochet, 2 single crochets in the next space again. Look, 1 and 2. In this way, we will advance to the end of the row by knitting 2 single crochets throughout. Now we have come to the end of our row here. We knitted 2 single crochets into each hole. Now we have progressed with a 3 millimeter crochet hook up to this point. The reason for this is that I used a 3 millimeter crochet hook to easily pass our yarn through the holes. Now to knit the model, we pass 3.5 millimeters of crochet hook. Now after knitting 2 very tight stitches here, look, now this part we started with a chain. We had directly removed the stitch, the first tight stitch we knitted. Look, this is now, we are inserting on top of it. We are removing the stitch and sliding the stitch we removed from the waiting stitch. We will pull a chain like this, which is only specific to this row. Now this is our ending and starting point here. Look, this sliding point will also form the peak point of the first point we started. In other words, we will think of this as the top of the tight stitch. This is the part where we put the hook. Now we will start to build the model. Look, now our stitch is waiting here. Now again, the same tight stitch is waiting. Look, I am inserting on top of the tight stitch. I remove the stitch. I am extending the stitch a little. Look, we have 2 stitches. We have extended our stitch. Now these 2 stitches, look, I am removing it with the hook. After removing it, I am inserting it through the first stitch like this. I am taking the other stitch with the hook. Look, the first stitch, the second stitch, through the first stitch like this. I pass and I pull one chain. I immediately insert into the top of the next single crochet and I remove the stitch. While removing the stitch, I lengthen a little, then I leave 2 stitches, then look like this. First I put on the first stitch, then the second stitch. I crochet the second stitch through the first stitch, look like this. I passed it like this. Then I definitely pull one chain. I come right after the chain. I insert into the top of the next single crochet here. I extend 1 stitch from here again. There are 2 stitches. Look, I definitely extend the second stitch, that is the stitch here, so that the pattern emerges more clearly. You can do this work with paper yarn, but it will not give this image. It is worth noting that this model shows itself better with yarns that have a wider texture and a best structure like this, like ribbon yarn. Now we will knit a few rows. The model will seem not so obvious. Don't give up. Keep knitting. We will see the model emerge as we knit. Now I am leaving 2 stitches. Look, I placed the loops on the hook like this and pass the second loop through the first loop. Then I pull a chain. We will try to pull the same length. Look, after a chain, I insert the loop into the next point and pull a long loop from here again. After removing the loop, I leave it. In this way, I put the loops on the hook and pass the loop through the other loop and pull a chain. I hope it was explanatory and understandable. Look, it looks like this now. We will knit the whole thing like this until the end of the row. We have come to the end of our row. Let's remove the hook there. Look, we have 1 last single crochet and a slip point left. We insert the loop into the top of the single crochet in the same way and remove our loop. It will always proceed in the same way. Look, our model has passed through it again and pulled a chain. Now look, we insert the loop into the space where the slip point is and remove the loop. We insert the loop in the same way. We insert the loop through the loop and pull a chain. Now look here at the last point. Let's attach the hooked needle to the body line point like this. In fact, let's attach it to this part. This is our ending and starting point. Let's do it like this, 2 layers. We put the safety pin on. This is our last model. Look, now from now on we will knit in a spiral shape. That is, the model will not have a joining point. We will have risen the wall of our bag in a completely spiral way. By the way, the bag became a deep bag compared to the base. I wanted it this way. I did not want it to come out directly like a bucket. We applied the direct model by double pricking each one to obtain a more widespread base. Look at each hole, but if you do not want the wall part of this bag to spread too much, that is, if you do not want a wide bag, you can do this process in different ways. For example, instead of 2 single crochets in the holes, for example, 2 single crochets in one hole, 1 single crochet, that is 1 double crochet, 1 single double. What does 2 single crochets in the same hole mean? 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet. In other words, you can also prick in 2, 1, 2, 1, or 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets. In other words, you can make the size of the bag smaller by changing these base numbers. Or look, in our starting row, we established the model by pricking on the top of each single crochet. You can also reduce the model in that way by skipping 1 single crochet and pricking on the next one. So you can also use this method to get a smaller bag. It is also worth mentioning this. As I said, my bag will be a large bag. Now we will continue to knit in a spiral shape. We will establish the same model again. Only the points we will insert here will now be 1 chain spaces. In other words, we will use 1 chain spaces between 2 long lines. Look, we will insert in the 1 chain spaces in between. Now we have attached the safety pin to the last point. We have pulled our 1 chain. Now we continue knitting as if with the ending and starting points and other points. Here I come. This is the first line. This is the second line. I insert in the 1 chain space right between the 2. And I definitely take this line. I insert in this point so that there is no more space. I took out my stitch. I extend my stitch. I took it off my hook and I held it like this. passed it through the stitch and pulled my 1 chain again. I insert in the 1 chain space between the next 2 lines. Look between the 2 lines and look, it should come out like this from the back. Then I lengthen my stitch, leave it long enough, take my hook again, pass the stitches through it and pull a chain. As I said, these few rows may seem very neat like this. This is not a problem at all. It will be fixed in the following rows. You can also do this work with Rattan, that is, it will be very beautiful with wide yarns, but it is worth mentioning that the model may not show itself with thinner yarns. I immediately insert into the space between the next 2 lines. It will come out like this from the back. We extended our stitch and we knit the model in the same way as in the first row. Look again, there are 2 lines. I insert into the 1 chain space between the 2 lines. I extended my stitch. I am applying the same model. Let's show it a little slower. Look, I am sinking into the 1 chain gap between the next line and the next 2 lines. We took our loop that will come out from the back like this. We extended it enough and left it. And like this, we pass it through and pull 1 chain. We started the second row completely. Look, we will come to the end of the row in this way. I want how we continue in the 3rd row. Let's share the process here with you once more. Now look, we have come to the end of our row. Here I am inserting into the 1 chain gap between the last 2 lines and extending the stitch again. I leave it and put the hook loops through it again and pull a chain. Now look, the last line we made was this. Look, the last 2 lines, and immediately inserting into the 1 chain gap between this one and extending the stitch, I left it and I knit the model in the same way and pull 1 chain. Now look, I have inserted into the 1 chain gap between the 2. Now the next point, look, this is the gap between the last one we inserted and the first chain. I am not skipping a chain here either. Look, I'm inserting into the 1 chain gap here and extending my stitch. And I knit my model in the same way. Look, the row will continue like this in a spiral. Next, look, I apply the same model by inserting a 1 chain gap between the 2 lines in the same way as on the other sides and removing my stitch by knitting a spiral in this way. Look, the pattern has started to show itself. I will knit enough like this. Look, I knitted my bag here and enlarged it. I want to show it to you right away. Now I will tell you the measurement in centimeters. Look, I will give you the finished measurement of the base like this now. Look, we will knit together with the knitting part when our base is finished. The long part is 27 centimeters. If I give the short side like this, the short side is about 15 centimeters. If the length of our bag is like this, look, I am the wall part. If I were to say the point from the bottom to the ground, it is 25 centimeters. It has a size like 24 to 25 centimeters. Now look, we will finish it. I came to the corner point here. Look, I just removed the point where the hook is from here and I am at the end of the row. Now look, the model pattern has emerged more. Let me show the pattern closely. We get such a beautiful image despite being a Raffia. Look, it is a bag that can easily stand upright. It was not a bag that I could leave on its own. Now we pulled 1 last chain. Now I will only do single crochet from now on. Look, I am coming. I am directly inserting 1 single crochet into the gaps of 1 chain and knitting 1 single crochet. And here I definitely pull 1 chain and insert 1 single crochet into the next gap of 1 chain and knitting 1 single crochet. There is 1 chain in between. Immediately 1 single crochet into the next gap of 1 chain. We will continue with 1 single crochet. I pull 1 chain in between. Look, I insert 1 chain into the gap of 1 chain between 2 long lines and knitting my single crochet. A chain immediately into the gap of 1 chain between 2 models in the form of a single crochet. Now the row progresses to the end. We are approaching the end of our row. Look, after knitting the single crochet, we come to the gap of one chain and knitting one single crochet immediately. We knit a chain, a single crochet in the space of one chain in between, and now look, I started here with a single crochet. I will insert the first single crochet into this point here and knit my single crochet. I will extend the loop enough and cut my yarn for about 5-10 centimeters, and now look, I will insert this yarn from the top of the next single crochet. Look, I will insert it from a point forward and pass the yarn from here, from the point where the yarn comes from. We can use a smaller crochet hook at this point, just like this, from the back. I immediately bought a 3mm crochet hook. I'm passing the rope through this. Now look, we finished it like this. As I said, our end point is where we're finishing it, where we put the safety pin. Then let's hide the rope nicely inside. You can iron it with steam from the inside if you want, but a hand iron will also be enough. I think there's no need to crush it too much since it's a shelf rope. Now we've hidden the rope like this. Now I want to show the bag like this. Look, it's useful to say the width of this mouth in centimeters, the bag's length is 25 centimeters, and the mouth's width is 43 centimeters. I had given the measurement at the base and completed it like this. You can make it longer, but I didn't prefer to make it too long. When it is a little short like this, it will look very nice with the handles. This is enough for me. I will determine the back of the front of the bag. Look at the front of the bag. I will place the handles right away. Like this, I want to show the accessories at this stage. You know, these are the parts of the Raffia bag accessory. You can also find them at the Aksa knitting boutique. Look, I will use a very nice handle with stones like this, and these are very easy to assemble. We will open these teeth. It's really practical. I want to mount the handle like this and place it right away. Look at these teeth. You can also use a lock like this, but I don't think I'll use this lock. I'll put it aside like this. It can be used in different accessories. Of course, there are also plain ones. As you know, there are also plain bag accessories without stones. Those will be very nice too, but this will really add a nice touch to the bag. Now I'm determining the spot where I'll place it. Eye decision. Look here. Let's place a team. I bring it from the point I determined immediately. I place the teeth. Look, then there are devices like this so that it is more durable, so that it does not come off, so that the handle does not come off. Look at these immediately. It closes very easily, even with the help of the hand. We close it like this. Let's place the other points in the same way, and we are now completing our bag. We have completed our bag by placing our handle. This handle is not for carrying in the hand or arm, but for hanging on the shoulder. It is also useful to state this. Again, you can also find FY bag accessories in its dimensions. There are longer ones for hanging on the shoulder. If you want, you can also prefer a longer handle. It is really summery. It was a very stylish bag work. As I said, while using 2 balls of yarn, I completed my bag using a total of 200 grams of yarn. It became a very light and stylish bag. I hope you like it and try it. I wish ease to those who will do it in advance. Don't forget to like our video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Goodbye until we see you in the next video.